Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Ishvaro Guratmeti Multibeda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Tava Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatoshimaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. We begin today the Kenupanishad, following the transcriptions of the class of Swami Paramarthananda. And the first paragraph there, it's interesting because he says, as I had announced, we will take up the Kēnōpaniṣad as our second Upanishad for study. So it means to say this transcription, it's probably almost 20 years, around 20 years or a bit less. I don't know if anyone has done a research in that sense.
No.
But it is at the beginning of his teachings. He begins by giving a general introduction, which creates the context of the Upanishads. And he says that in vetāsvatara Upanishad, there is a mantra which is often quoted. And then in this mantra points out that the Lord created Brahman first, okay? After creating Brahman, the Lord of the universe, or let's say Brahman, after creating Brahman handed over the Vedic scriptures to Brahman. So indicate that along with the creation, Bhagavan, the Lord, the original Lord, has given the Vedic scriptures also together. So what is the point here? Is that the Vedic scriptures, they are spiritual, psychological, moral, ethical, karmic laws, which are just infused in the creation. It's part of the creation. The creation comes with all the laws, including this spiritual, psychological, karmic, and moral laws and principles. Basically, all the laws in respect to the human jiva, which are dealing with the way this creature, the only creature on this planet seems to be the humans that have a certain intellectual capability to discern and to make determinations and choices. So only for these beings we have laws that they apply for all other beings. Even the Vedas say so. But especially for the human jiva, these laws, principles, the ethical, psychological, moral, karmic, they are most fundamental for the humans. If we don't understand these principles, we'll have a hard time here, and we are not going to grow and evolve. So this is built into the creation like any other law and principle. Everything is in there. So indicate that Vedas are not later inventions created by humanity describing these principles and laws which are relevant to the human beings. The Vedas were not something originated by some human mind. Vedas are not the later inventions of created humanity or human mind, but Vedas have been coming down from the Lord himself. And the same idea we saw in all the Upanishads, including the Mundaka. While talking about the scriptures, it mentioned that in the Rig Veda and all the others, Veda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, they also create not only humanity, but along humanity, the one by the Lord. Just a moment. They are also create not by humanity, but create along with her. So the Vedas, the laws and the principles and the knowledge in respect to these laws and principles. So isn't it interesting that when the creation comes about, it is sustained by all laws that hold the universe, all the physical, chemical, and all the laws, yeah, gravity and any and all principle, okay, law, physical law, everything is there. But there are no scriptures revealing to us these laws. So human beings have to somehow observe phenomena and then tap and try to understand these laws that are somehow intelligently structuring and sustaining this universe. But then when it comes to the most invisible laws, which are the moral, ethical, spiritual laws, the teachings of the Vedas and Vedanta, so the Lord said, it's better I reveal to them this kind of knowledge. I'm not going to let it up to them because it's going to be tough. Okay? It's going to be tough. So he presents these scriptures to us right together with the first human beings that began asking fundamental questions in regards what the heck am I doing here? What is the purpose of this life? Where I came from? Where I'm going to go? What is the purpose here? So anybody asking those questions, those answers are going to be given.
Wonderful.
So why did the Lord give the Vedas along with the creation? The idea is that the Vedas should serve as a roadmap or a guidebook for human beings, the only ones with free will. So we have free will, we need to have a user's guide, yeah? User's instructions. So the manual is given by the Lord to the human beings. Use a manual, it said here, a roadmap, a GPS kind of, system. It's supposed to, whoever accepts the Vedas as a guide for one's life is called Vaidikam. Vaidikam are the people who somehow understood that the Vedic original fundamental revealed spiritual teachings which are coming direct from the creator. So the Vedics are the people who understood that all religious philosophies and involving God, they have their souls in the Vedas because the Vedas, they were revealed by the Lord and the Lord alone. So whosoever understood that is called a Vaidikan. I do not reject the Vedas. I accept the Vedas as coming direct from the Lord. Therefore, I have my user manual, a way I can check the way I'm conducting my life, and then I further can understand my relationship with the Creator. Yeah? In which way I'm conforming and harmonizing to its laws, and which ways I'm not, and why I'm suffering, and so on. And then I start growing in this understanding and determining my goals of life, which is not to become rich materialistically, but become rich spiritually. So this Vaidika, this person who accepts the Vedas, this Vaidika alone in modern language, we call a Hindu. No? And the definition of a Vaidika or a Hindu is a person, whenever he or she was born, maybe in India or anywhere else in the planet, okay? It's a person who accepts the Veda as the guide in his life. it's called a Vaidika. So we are Vaidikas. No? We don't need to be born there in India, in the Indian culture, to understand that these teachings, they were not originate by human mind, but they were just revealed to everyone, to any and everyone who wants to understand this life, understand the purpose of this life. So the Vedas are known by the name Shastram. Shastram, usually we translate as scriptures, no? Or revelation. Shastra means that which guides us, okay? By educating the humanity, Shastras, Shas plus Tram is Shastram. Sasana means education or instruction regarding life, regarding one's one goal, the goals of one's life, and regard the means by attaining those goals. Life, its goals, and the means, whatever educates, is called Shastram. Yeah? So there is a body of knowledge which instructs us on how to be happy, how to grow spiritually. Yeah? It's a process of education. What kind of education? I'm being educated to understand my relationship with God. Lynn, my dear, can you close your? The Vedas are there to protect humanity from much suffering. If you do not know a particular address in city, you will go round and round and round. You don't have the map. You don't have the GPS. So in the past, it was tough to move into a new place and trying to find your way around. I remember, oh my God, it was not long ago, 20, 30 years ago, how difficult it was to deliver fine Italian wines in Seattle when we first got there to distribute wines, very tough. Okay. In Vishnu śaraṇamahaṁ, there is a verse chanted by many people, and it's all in Sanskrit. We are declaring the greatest truth to humanity. So that seems to be the mantra. We the Vedas begin to study these shastras. Yeah? There is a verse that opens the session saying, we are here declaring the greatest truth to humanity. We loudly proclaim to the humanity. What is the proclaim? What do we proclaim? Satyam, Satyam, Puna Satyam. Jesus is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And what is this truth? There is no guide for humanity better than the Vedas. Thus, we, the Vaidikas, we are supposed to accept Vedas as our guide map or a road map. Of course, I mean, it's, I remember the first time that it flashed in my mind that the Vedas was the very source of all spiritual knowledge that somehow is all over the planet, I understood that the Vedas was the source, and then bits and pieces and fragments were moving around, because you see that the basic principles of all these religions, they are in harmony with those of the Vedas. So the first time I understood that, I said, oh my God, this is it, But then if you tell that without having much of understanding, people immediately tell you that you are a fanatic, and that religious people believe that their religion is the very foundation or source of all true knowledge. You understand? So it takes time to develop this conviction, this insight, let's say, and this trust. So, and as we know, the Vedas have, there are 4 Vedas, and all of them are divided in 2 branches. Yeah? One is the the Veda Vedapūrvaṃ, what is it? Vedapūrvaṃ and Vedāṁta, okay? So the end of the Vedas and the beginning of the Vedas, we know pretty well. Gita gives us a taste of both. So those teachings that are going to help us to prepare, to grow also materialistically, physically, taking care of security and entertainment, and then we move into Dharma. All of that we get by doing certain actions to produce Artha, Kama, and Dharma, which is a spiritual punya. And then the Vedāṁta, which is different because you are not doing things. You are studying, contemplating, meditating until you understand the true nature of the universe. So, and then he says here that because there are two parts, the Vedas, great rishis have analyzed the Vedapūrvaṃ and Vedāṁta to see why to make a division, because Veda is Veda. When you read a book, you'll see first, second, and then in the end, last chapter. So you don't divide last chapter as one book and all the other chapters as another book. You know, it's all together. And then they start contemplating and discussing. So why we have to divide it in two, Vedapūrvaṃ and Vedāṁta? Indicating that there are two separate branches of this science. The science of God, or God as we know, manifests as Saguna God, fundamentally is Nirguna God. So this is a science of reality, a science of consciousness, a science of God. Even though both come in one book, we divide them into two kinds of scriptures, Vedapūrvaṃ and Vedāṁta. Shankaracharya raised this question in his commentary. What is the basis for dividing one Veda into two kinds of scriptures or two kinds of instructions? It's a very important inquiry and involved a lot of discussions, as everything coming from our Sampradaya, whether Vedas would be treated as one science or two sciences. Shankaracharya and all the traditional teachers at the time, through a lot of arguments, established that they are two separate branches of science. And what is the reason for this segregation? The reason given is Anubbādha, Katustaya, Bedata, Shastra, Bedam. So not capriciously or arbitrarily divide. There is a logic or reason to divide it. So what is the reason? What is the base to divide it? So Anubbādha, Katustaya is different for Veda, Pūrva, and Anubbādha. Okay, Vedapūrvaṃ and Vedāṁta. It's different. What is different? So what's different is the relevance determining factor. Okay, as we read the text, we're going to understand slowly but surely these new Sanskrit terms. Okay. So when you study Vedas, you have to find out what Swami has again used the how do you say a sigla, a symbol, RDF, relevance determining factors. Okay, so what are they? Are they the same? Veda, Pūrva, and Vedāṁta. So we know, generally speaking, we know that they are different kind of teachings. One provides us with knowledge that needs to be practiced and applied through action and vigilance and discipline, which serve the purpose to produce Artha, Kama, and Dharma, to make us grow in that area. So Swami is going to break it all down very nicely here. What is the relevance of the scripture to humanity? What is the relevance of the Shastra, the overall Vedic Shastram. Is Veda relevant, Swami inquires? Is Veda relevant now in the 21st century? So it was already in the 21st century when Swamiji did this class. Therefore, always human mind asks about relevance. So what is in there for me? Huh? What is the relevance about all of that? Later, we ask the question, is this, okay, there is some relevance, but is this relevant to me? Huh? Should I come to the next class? What is the relevance in attending these classes of the Kenupanishad? So for determining this ātma-buddhiprakāśaṁ, which is the relevance of any Shastra tradition, there are 4 factors to be observed. 4 factors determine whether a particular Shastra is relevant or not relevant, okay? Therefore, relevance determining factors, RDF, is ātma-buddhiprakāśaṁ, okay? Since these factors are 4 in number, we call it Katustayam. So there are 4 factors that Swami is going to present here, which allows us to determine the relevance of this scriptural knowledge. The tradition holds Veda pūrvaṃ has 4 RDF, okay? RDF, which goes to relevance determining factors, okay? He says that Veda pūrvaṃ has 4. Vedanta also has 4 relevance determining factors, okay? So they are different from Veda pūrvaṃ and Vedanta, therefore they began to consider that it's better to keep it separate. They are segregated for that very reason. Now the next question is, what are these 4 factors which determine the relevance of any scripture or shastra or book of instruction? The first one is, what is the subject matter? So they have to determine first, in either case, Veda, pūrvaṃ, and Vedanta, what is the subject matter here? So when you study the Vedas, what is what's the goal? What is another goal? What is the matter? You're studying what? Okay. So as we know, the Veda is going to deal with Artha, Karma, Dharma, you know, and it's instruction on how to live a successful life that allows you to grow, not only materialistically, but also religiously and spiritually, developing spiritual punya, which is Dharma, and so on. Any field of scientific knowledge, you need to understand, but what is it about? What is the subject matter regarding this science? You know, oh, I don't understand this. So what is it about? So what is exactly what it is? You know. So in modern days, we have got newer and newer branches of science. We do not even know what is the subject matter they are discussing because it's so subtle. To understand that itself, we need to study a lot just to get to subject matter of something. And when we come to Vedanta, the subject matter, which is nirguna atma, is so subtle that people do not understand what we are really studying. What is the nature of this subject matter, nirguna atma. Therefore, the subject matter is the first thing to be determined. The second one is what is the benefit I can derive from studying and understanding this subject matter. For example, I want to learn biology. What is biology? I have to study until I understand what is biology. And then when I understood, this is biology. Okay, and then I want to study biology. And then I'm going to study biology. And then I say, but okay, And now I know what biology is about. Now I want to study it, but am I going through 4, 5, 6, 10 years studying biology? So what I'm going to get from it? What is the benefit of doing this study? Well, the benefit I will get, we don't do anything. Sometimes people don't know because I want to get a job as a teacher of biology. Third factor is what is the connection between my effort to study it and the benefit? First, I get to know what it is. Second, I want to know what's the benefit. And the benefit does not come just by focusing. You need to put up a lot of effort. So the effort needs to be there. So what is the connection between the effort, which is study, and the benefit? The connection between study and benefit. In what way the study will give me a particular benefit? So this is relevant in the sense because when we come to some areas of knowledge, the knowledge of the science does not really offer the benefit unless one practice that knowledge or puts that knowledge into practice. You understand? And we have I have that big time when we come into the Vedapurva especially, okay? We say that Vedanta is not about theory and practice, but the Vedapurva teachings, it is about learning, understanding, studying, developing the understanding of this relationship between creator and creature and the laws. And then we conform, we harmonize with those laws. We live according to the Lord's laws. This requires vigilance and application, practice. So what is the connection between knowing everything about something, but never really make that knowledge transform my life, so to speak? You understand? You need to live according to your knowledge. Your knowledge and your life should be in harmony, okay? So what is the connection between all these studies and the benefit? So what I need to do? So Visaya, Prahiṇoti, and Sambhada. So we have 1, 2, 3. What it's all about, what is the benefit and what is the relationship between my effort studying and trying to understand, developing the knowledge and the benefit. Because as we know, when we come to this kind of science, if you study chemistry, for example, so the knowledge is by itself is already the benefit, okay? But there are certain knowledge that the knowledge itself does not mean the benefit. And in the case of the Vedanta teachings, as we know, there is a huge distinction between academic, theoretical knowledge. You can know any and everything about the scriptures, and yet you don't benefit, because this kind of knowledge, they are designed not just for the sake of having intellectual, academic, or rational knowledge, but it's designed for one's inner transformation. In that case, there is a difference between the knowledge. So we have a lot of people who have huge knowledge of all the scriptures, and but they don't have the benefit, okay? So we need to keep it in mind. The fourth and the most important factor is what is the kind of people who are going to be attracted to these teachings, Vedapurva and Vedanta. So it serves for what kind of people? As we know, there are 2 classes of people. The people who turns to Vedapurva, less mature individuals that want Artha Kama Dharma, okay? And that's absolutely okay. That's why we have Bhagavad Gita that provides the teachings for all kinds of students, Vedic students. So, but when you come to Vedanta, people, they have another goal. The purpose is moksha, freedom, self-knowledge and moksha. So who wants self-knowledge and moksha? Very rare mature individuals, okay? So they go for different people. Here it's presenting a business language, audience, and as if it was a market. But no, so these teachings, they serve for very rare individuals. You cannot expect that people, the large mass of Vaidikas, people who accept the Vedas, you cannot expect them to have an interest in the Upanishads or Vedanta, because they are not there yet. You understand? So there are two kinds of people, public clients, also, putting in business language. What is your market? What are the people? So you produce something, you need to know who is going to be interested in your product. And here, you're not producing anything. The knowledge was revealed, but they are going to have an appeal only for very rare individuals in the case of Vedanta, and to a much larger fraction or of individuals in the case of Veda Pūrvaṃ. Yeah? The group of people. Target group. So Veda Pūrvaṃ has a different target group. Vedanta also has a different target group. They are called adhikari. So all these four, Visaya, Prayojana, Sambada, and adhikari, with regard to Veda Pūrvaṃ and Vedanta, we should know, we should understand, so that we have a better, clear vision, understanding of why our great Mahatmas have decided to divide this science, the spiritual science. So Swami says, let's now take both of them. Veda Pūrvaṃ first. What is the subject matter? So we could say many things. Fundamentally is the understanding of our relationship with Saguna Brahma, the creator, and understanding the laws and the way I should conduct my life to be able to develop certain qualifications and a happier life and so on. So the Veda Pūrvaṃ, what the subject matter? So variety of actions, efforts and actions and studies as well. For what goal? No, it's just for the sake of Artha Kama Dharma. A section of the Veda which talks about variety of karmas, sadhanas. Karma can be done at the physical level, can be done at the verbal level, and can be done on the mental level. So those are karmas that we do, things that we do that produce a certain result, okay? We trust the Vedas, you accept that by doing these things, we get a better state of mind and get a life with more security and more possibilities of happiness, with entertainment and many other things. So karma that can be done at the oral, verbal level, or karma that can be done at only the mental level, okay? All of these are karmas. That's why we chant the verse. That's very nice. Every one of these texts, the verse, they are chanted. And then he talked about puja. Jan means variety of actions born out of the organs. While physical and verbal actions are called karma, mental actions have a slight, they are referred slightly different. The mental ones are referred to upasana, okay, or meditation, dhyana, okay. So you are mentally, you are not active verbally or physically, You are sitting and you are doing what? Upasana. And upasana is going to give you what? Dharma, okay? Mental purification, betterment. So this is the subject matter covered by Vedapurva. It's all kinds, these three levels of actions: physical, verbal, and mental. What is the benefit that one derives from these activities, these sadhanas, or these actions, or these rituals, or ceremony? The Vedapurva talks about threefold benefits, three kinds of karma palan. What are they? Artha, Kama, and Dharma. Many Vedika karmas are prescribed for getting wealth, as we know. I don't know because I haven't experienced these rituals and ceremonies to facilitate the accomplishment of wealth. In Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a homa called avahanti. In tradition, the homa is very popular because it's meant for wealth. A lot of food, a lot of water, and clothes, shelter, all these kinds of things. Those are all wealth. So plenty of wealth. Thus, they come under what? Artha. Wealth. Wealth serves for security. Without these basic needs provided, we feel insecure and the mind is disturbed for even further spiritual development. So minimum level of security is necessary, and which no longer. So human beings are interested in what? They are interested in security, and it can be reduced to money. But money as well is seen as God, is a manifestation of God. In an auto rickshaw, which are very common there in India, there was a slogan in Tamil, money is necessary until one gets buried. Very nice. You require money for even entering the coffin or the burial ground, and it's better we don't leave this expense for our children and others. We take care of them. We leave money to cover that as well. The next one is kama, entertainment, sensory pleasure, good food, vacation, travels, and so on. Once these two categories of needs are fulfilled, we look for varieties of entertainment that will come under kama. Then the next one is called dhamma. Dhamma means punya. What kind of punya? It's not material punya, but it is mental, psychological, spiritual punya. Punya is seen as an exchange currency, which is very nicely this concept. When you are entering on any country, you need to convert your money to the local currency of that country. Currency exchange agencies are there. They published the exchange rate. Similarly, you require currency for next birth, artha and kama, for next yanas, artha and kama. So you come the next birth. So you definitely want to come with another enough currency to have a new birth in a family that is going to provide security in a society that is not in war or anything like that. So, and then you can enjoy, have entertainment. So these are all sorts of punyas, materialistic punyas, security and the pleasures punya. So you need to have what? You need to have good punya from previous life. Punya is a kind of a currency that allows you to get into a new birth with those requirements fulfilled. So in your future births as well, what are you gonna want to begin with? So if I want to be born, I don't want to be born very poor in a very poor nation like in Africa, suffering all kinds of needs and deprived of all the basics. Say no, I want to be born in a better society. Wealth and entertainment should be available. So you need punya. That's called punya. So many karmas are prescribed for generating punya, right? In the Vedic culture. You do a lot of karmas to produce material punya, but you do a lot of also other karmas to produce spiritual punya, subtle punya. Okay, so I will give you a better body in the next life, better environment, better family, better security, and so on. This dharma or punya is the third benefit. All these three put together is called prayer. In the Kēnōpaniṣad is called prayer. Okay, so we have artha, kama, dharma. Dharma, sometimes I see the Swamiji present as punya. So punya is something that is the results of certain actions, and the actions can be provided by being a karma yoga. You're not interested in rituals or ceremonies. You are a more refined karmi. You are karma yogi. So you're still doing actions through your very roles of life. You're doing actions, and you're producing punya. Punya is present as favorable results. Favorable results are going to produce a more superior next birth. Okay, so this is the third one, dharma or punya, that can be done without any need for rituals, but being a very, very sophisticated and refined, purified karma yogi. So this is the purpose of these three different things you can get in the Veda pūrvaṃ. Therefore, dharma, artha, kama is what you're going to get, is the phalam, the result. So karma is the subject matter. So what's the subject matter? So it's more than just karma, because once we just look at it from the standpoint of karma yoga, it's not only actions, but it's the knowledge in regards to the laws of this creator and the relationship I have with these laws and so on. That is going to produce the phalam. The phalam we want is what? Is artha, kama, and dharma. So dharma needs to be seen as well as favorable circumstance, okay? So I put good actions, so chances are that I get better results. So I'm getting better results, not for the sake only to enjoy punya, favorable circumstance. I want better results so that I have a circumstance which are favorable, which is going to facilitate the development of certain mental qualifications to enter into the vedāṁta, the Upanishads. So therefore, dharma, artha, kama are the fruits, and karma and the study of the scriptures on saguna, Brahman, is the subject matter, because we need to have the knowledge as well. It's not about doing things in reference to certain rituals, technologies, but it is even furthermore refined as a karma yogi who understood the dharma. You understand? Dharma, artha, kama is the greatest benefit. So what is the connection between I studied all of these regarding not only to the rituals and ceremonies, but in respect to, understanding Saguna God, understanding Saguna Brahman, and harmonizing, conforming my life with the laws and principles of the Creator. So what's the connection between studying all of that and getting the benefit, which is mental purification, mental elevation, punya, or howsoever we want to put it. So what is the direct benefit? So studying these scriptures on rituals, or more sophisticatedly speaking, scriptures describe the nature of Saguna Brahman. So, and its loss. So what is the connection between studying all of that and the pūrvaṃ, the fruits I will have, you know? And then again, it goes to that point. So one thing is the academic knowledge. Another thing is the transformation we gain through this academic intellectual knowledge, okay? He says here, you can go and do a study of asanas, yoga asanas, and then you can study it, but if you don't practice, you are not going to gain the benefit. Anything, there are many things that the intellectual knowledge is just an indirect means by which you're going to get the benefit. The first thing is intellectual knowledge, and then you're going to do something about that in a way that you can get the real benefit, which is not the knowledge itself, as I pointed out at the beginning of today's class. So the knowledge will serve as an indirect means by which you're going to get the pūrvaṃ, the benefit. Study will benefit, but will not benefit directly, indirectly, because then I need to practice, you know, do my sadhanas, you know, and observe the Dharma in the case of Karma Yogis, and apply the knowledge, you know, observe our shortfalls, you know, and then correct our conduct. And so all of that is the effort that is going to produce the pūrvaṃ, that begins with the knowledge in respect to this relationship between the creature and the creator and the laws sustaining Jagata. No? So we don't get direct benefit, but indirect benefit. And what is the intermediary factor? So intermediary factor can be chanting, can be prayers, or can be... So whatsoever. In the case of the Karma Yoga, is much more subtle and sophisticated. So how I practice Karma Yoga, what is the benefit, how I perform Karma Yoga, I practice Karma Yoga, because it's not like doing a ritual or doing prayers or chanting or repeating a mantra 24/7 during my day. No, it's something else, you know, it's keeping the knowledge alive and trying to apply the knowledge in a way that harmonizing my knowledge with my conduct in life, okay? So this is the intermediary factor, which is my effort, my practice, my application of knowledge in the case of Vedanta. And the fourth one is adhikari. So what is the target audience? This is going to appeal to what kind of people? So only those kind of people who have fulfilled certain conditions. The first condition is what? Desire. So what makes someone desire the understand of the nature of God, you know? What makes someone to be a religious person? No? Desire. Nothing happens without desire. No? Most people have desire for things of the material world, or even some sense pleasures, or psychological pleasures. The first condition is what? Desire. For Veda Pūrvaṃ, the first qualification is desire. Desire must be there. Desire for what? Dharma, artha, and kama. I want wealth, I want property, I want to have certain assets that gives me a sense of a relative security and freedom. I want things of this world. Because I want to be happy, I want to enjoy this life. Yeah. There are so many advertisements all over every society. Enjoy, buy, consume, and so on. So desire is all the time stimulating the mind of everybody until people grow to the point of understanding consumption of all these objects of experience do not really bring about true happiness. No? Okay, lots of Sanskrit in this introduction. So what they want to get through all these rituals, as described here in so many Sanskrit words, they are going to get anything within the realm of Dharma, Artha, and Kama. No? So it can be, I want a nice husband, a nice wife, a nice family with 3 children. In India, they used to have many children. So for first qualification for this kind of desire, is called Veda Purva Bhaga. So what is this Veda Purva Bhaga? It's confidence, trust in the scriptures on Veda Purva, okay? So the first thing he says here, you have to have desire, but you cannot have desire unless you trust the scriptures. So you need to have desire, but before trust, but before that, he's talking in terms of resource. Because in order for you to go for Dharma, let me read the words of Swami, because this passage is a little bit confusing. The most important basic resource, he's saying that it's called resource. You need to have resource, okay? He's not talking about the trust yet. Later on, he's going to talk about the trust. Now he says you need to have certain resource. The most important basic resource, it's faith in the Vedic rituals, faith in the teachings of the Vedas in respect to the relationship between Jivatma, Ishvara, and Jagata. So I have to have faith in the basic teachings involving rituals and ceremonies and doing things. And then I have to have the faith on the teachings that describes the relationship and the science within this relationship between the creature and creator. So I have to have faith on the Vedic teachings, the Vedic rituals. I need to have Shraddha. If I say that rituals, I don't trust them, therefore there's no need to do that. It's a waste of time. Shraddha in Veda is fundamental, and that's why Shraddha itself is called Shraddam. But a person can do Shraddam only if he got faith in the ceremony or the ritual. Okay, so there are some details here that I can't relate to, the ritualistic reference, but I always try to unfold this from the standpoint of our culture, not much familiarized with this, but more familiarized with the spirit of Karma Yoga, the Karma Yoga, by which requires great Shraddha in the scriptures, and then application of knowledge through sadhanas, efforts, which include upasana and observance of Dharma, application of the knowledge, of the laws and principles in a way that I can conform my life to these Dharma laws. If the faith is not there, the entire Veda becomes irrelevant. You need to have faith, trust in the Vedas. Therefore, what is the first resource? The first resource is faith, confidence, shraddha. That's why brahmachari is asked to chant this prayer. Oh Lord, give me faith in the Vedas. What is the first resource? Faith in the Vedic rituals, okay? Confidence, I trust them, therefore I do them. What other resources are required for doing all this ritualistic, ceremonial ritual of sadhanas, or the knowledge, the skill, and the wealth? Now he says, in order to do these things, you better do it correctly, develop the skill, and you need to have certain money to do those things. Wealth here does not mean money, but some money as well is often present here and there as required. Bigger than karma, more wealth is also required. Therefore, knowledge, skill, and wealth put together is called dakshata, dakshatva, which means all the necessary resource. And when we say resource, not only money, but the skill, the faith, the knowledge, the technology, you know how to do those rituals. So how would us translate this to Karma Yoga? Yeah? What are the resources? Not the knowledge of the scriptures, and my skill, my ability to observe, understand and observe Dharma, and confidence that whatsoever result is given to me, it serves a purpose so that I can redirect my conduct in life. Okay, so knowledge and faith is included. As a Karma Yogi does not involve the need for money, but for doing certain rituals and ceremonies, money as well is required. But as a Karma Yogi, one has gone over that. And the third qualification mentioned is Vedic permit. This is even less relevant because in order to do all these rituals, you need to be associated with an ashram, and you have to get the Veda, pūrvaṃ, bhaga. For everything, license is required. As we know, if you want to build a house, you need to do so, get a license. In order to do these rituals and ceremonies, you need to get a license. You have to go through these centers for Vedic rituals. I should be partnered of a relevant varna to the relevant ashrama, because Kshatriyas can do certain rituals, which brahmāṇaṁ can do. He's saying that you have to see which kind of ashrama. In this ashrama here, it goes to the four, it's not really castes, but the four configurations based on gunas of different classes, social classes, So if you are a military or warrior or somebody who preserves the Dharma, you're going to have to do a certain rituals according to the culture there. If you are just a labor, condition for more tamoguna, you do other kinds of rituals. If you are a brahmani, so you're going to do all other kinds. If you are sannyasi, you cannot do anything. You have to study the scriptures and that's it. Okay. And then some say, so people have a false belief that the radical rituals are designed for male people only. He say, no, it's for the couple, for the family. No, there is no gender discrimination. is a misconception. Usually the couple do it together. Families used to be strong in India up to at least last century. And then Swami plays a joke, I mean, almost 20 years ago, about 20 years ago. So, I mean, before we used to say family, couple, nowadays things are changing. He said, we don't know nowadays what it means to be a couple. You know, couple means generally husband and wife, but things have changed nowadays. Okay. So these are the least relevant parts of this introduction. So now he goes. So now let's look at what are the relevance determining factors for Vedāṃta. First one is what? The subject matter. What is the subject matter? Karma will not allow me to get the fruits of this process. So what is the subject matter? If the Veda Pūrvaṃ was actions and its results, now we know that it's a different section, and action is not going to do it. There are no actions involved. That's why it's not called karma conduct. There is no question of doing karmas, doing actions. What is the subject knowledge regarding to what? You know, it is the nature of nirguna atma, my very nature, the nature of nirguna Brahman, self-knowledge, and so on. Therefore, it's called ātma-vidya, the knowledge of the real nature of reality. Why does Vedanta talk about self-knowledge? Because Veda is very clear that we do not know ourselves. The Veda is going to say, oh, you are preparing yourself, you guys, so that you can, at the very end, get to know your true nature. Why we are doing all of these actions? So just due to the fact that you don't know what you are yet. Huh? And then Swami plays another joke. So, Swamiji, but my husband, my wife, my children, they know me so well. They say that they know everything about me, you know. No, nobody knows what you are except the yanis. Okay, so let me see how much more before we go through these things. And then later on, there is introduction into the Kenupanishad. Okay, so there are some points here that somehow was worth not skipping. Huh? What do you think? You agree? Very soon we're going to get to the verse. But it's good to contextualize and to understand certain aspects of our sampradaya. It gets us a more and more clear vision of the entire process. Anything from you guys? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namaste. We meet again next Monday, back to the Gita. Okay, I'm gonna end our class. No, I'm going to stop recording it because I need to talk to. Okay, till Monday. Stay with me, Mark.